We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 489, the last one for the year. I'm your man behind the microphone and your current reigning Scholars of Wrestling world champion. I am Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week, as always, the OG Undisputed Scholar. He is Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing perfectly well. I am excited because we are at the end of 2024, the final episode of the Scholars of Wrestling show for this year, and we're at World's End. Let's go do a little bar hopping, if you can catch what I'm referring to.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. And speaking of bar hopping, also joining us this week, another undisputed scholar of the duo of destruction. He is Scholar Brian. Scholar Brian, are you ready to go to the world's end?
Of course, I'm at the corner. I'm at the bar that you guys are going to, already sitting in the corner.
There you go.
And last but certainly not least, he is the newbie but the goodie, my tag team partner, the one and only Scholar Pete. Scholar Pete, are you ready to go to the world's end?
As I live and breathe. Hello to my tag team partner. It's a good day today. It's a great day. We are on the final episode of the year for Scholars of Wrestling, and it's just great because we're going to acknowledge these great fans about just how on point we're going to be on this AEW with you, fine gentlemen. I just want to say thank you for inviting me in and letting me be a part of your world. And I can't wait to make you guys proud and become a soon two-time champion very shortly. So I just want to say kudos to you and to my tag team partner. Take it away, buddy.
As a great American poet on the Emmy nominated TV show Two Stupid Dogs once said, isn't that cute? But it's wrong. Anyway, before we get to all that, I need to put my belt aside for just the slightest of moments because we have, before the year is out, have one final prediction to get to. This is AEW World's End. And kicking us off with our very first match on the card, we've got, at least as of now, announced at the time of this show, we have Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship against Chris Statlander. Again, it's a rematch for the ages. And this time, I'm actually going, as the champ, actually going to forego my place in line, and we're going to go to the traditional top of the Scholar's Order, and that's Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, who do you got between Mercedes Monet and Chris Statlander?
At this point, it's kind of just silly to not pick Mercedes Monet. I don't know right now who is really in line to take that TBS title offer. I honestly think they're planning on just having her beat Jade Cargill's record of longest reigning TBS champion at this point. Uh, yeah, CEO, CEO, CEO. How many times do they say it in her theme song? CEO.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Moving on to our next pick, we've got Brian. It's your pick up next. Who do you got between Mercedes Monet and Chris Statlander?
Scholar Pete likes to talk about stories going into matches. Well, here's the story for this match. Chris Statlander walks into a Mercedes Monet interview, asks for a title match. Mercedes Monet says, "Why not?" This is our story for this match. That is a story that does not make a new champion. That is a story that guarantees Mercedes Monet to walk out with the victory. Mercedes Monet still TBS champion.
Yeah, this time, this strikes me as being one of those matches where it's not about the ultimate winner of the match as much as it is the happenings surrounding it. With I do not have any definitive proof for any of this, but when it comes to this show and when it's positioned and when it's happening and just the card as we have it as of this current moment, I'm getting the sense that we're going to see some surprises. There's going to be some surprise returns. There's going to be some surprise interference. There's going to be some surprise something. And I think there's a good chance that we could very well end up seeing one of them in this match. We're going to see something. I don't know what it is, but this is one of those things where the setup seems a little bit obvious, but we're probably going to see something after the match. But as far as the match itself, yes, I think we're going to see yet another Mercedes Moné retention here. There's still too much heat attached to her name, Mercedes Moné, so that the person who unseats her, much like you said with Jade Cargill back in the day, we're going to see something very special and unique when the time comes. But with that being said, Pete, do we have an accord, sir?
Well, tag team partner, I'm glad you asked because pretty sure you skipped me over in traditional scholars. I believe since you passed with the title, it went to Scholar Targ, Scholar Brian. It then should have went to me to followed by you. If I am incorrect by that, Brian,
You
Scholar
are
Targ.
you are incorrect. It typically, when I say the typical scholars order, it goes in order of when we were all brought on.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough
It
to my
began
tag
with
team
Tarek and
partner.
Brian, but technically I was the third, and then
That's fair. That's
everyone else in succession.
Listen, I'm not attacking you, champ. Don't attack me. I'm here. We're tag team.
Oh, I know when the attack is coming. I
Don't
know
light
when
this
the
title.
attack is coming.
Please don't listen. We're stronger than this. Let's not fight in front of the dual destruction or whatever the fuck you called them at the top of the show.
You're right. No one wants to see mommy and daddy argue.
But
Continue.
what they want to see is, of course, me go and say my favorite wrestler, Mercedes Moné, will indeed retain. Because let's
Why
face
did
it,
you say it
gentlemen,
like that?
Have you
because
not heard him say it the last 4 pay-per-views that way?
No, I thought you were just being a silly Billy.
No,
no,
no, this is permanent.
Mercedes Monet uh is gonna win because let's face the facts, gentlemen. Why would she lose the belt? She's not going for the AEW women's title right now. Why is she gonna lose? Yeah, you could give it and give Statlander another run at the TBS championship. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm not mad about it. But the fact of the matter is it's gonna go to Mercedes because it's the girl, and to what Scholar Tar, you brought it up, and I did like that statement. I'll bring it up again. I think this is their way of making her the longest reigning CBS champion and going basically fuck you to Jade Cargill. They've been doing it. Look at what they've been doing with Ray Phoenix, sitting on the shelf. Like eh, it's craziness with AEW right now, and I feel like she's gonna keep it just because there's nothing for her to do with that she just keeps about. It makes the most sense business wise, character wise, everything. Like you boys said too, the storyline is not there. Here's a rematch. There's no emotion in it. Give me emotion. I feel like this pay-per-view is going to be great, but a lot of my picks are going to be brutal because it's going to be great wrestling, but it's no stories for me. No stories in these.
Well, speaking of brutality, that'll bring us to our next match on the card. We've got Konosuke Takeshita defending the international title against Powerhouse Hobbs. Brian, it's your pick up first. Who do you got?
I really like Powerhouse Hobbs. However, with all the NJPW shows coming up that Takeshka is on that have something to do with AEW, now is not the time for him to be losing this title. So this is going to be one of those. Powerhouse Hobbs is going to get a huge rub, but there's no way Takeshita loses this match. Not a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to join you on that. Again, this is another one of those matches where everything just seems way too straightforward. Unfortunately for Hobbs, I feel like this is just not going to be his breakout moment. I don't think it's going to impact the ending at all. I'm going to have to go with Takeshita to win. Scholar Pete, which way are you going? Are you going for Takeshita or Powerhouse Hobbs?
Takeshita for the win, Avi. I think Powerhouse, let me tell you, you're going to be getting a singles run in 2025. I firmly believe that he's looked great. He's one of those stars in AEW. You gentlemen know I'm not the biggest watcher of AEW, but there are the stars that I know, Adam Cole, MJF, all of them, the world champion, John Moxley. But for a mid-carder as Powerhouse to be out there and know his presence, I feel like 2025 is his year, but again, you can't take the belt off Takeshita at the moment.
And last but not least, Scholar Tarek, do we have an accord?
We do have an accord. It would be very silly of me to predict against Takeshita because Takeshita is one of my favorite wrestlers going on in AEW right now, and I want to see his momentum keep going uh, with this. He looks great with that international championship, and as Brian said, he's going to go to New Japan. I think it would be quite a good display of just showing who he is here in the States if he goes to Japan with that title around his waist, on his shoulder, wherever he wants to have it. Takeshita for the win.
Bam. And with that being
And
said, we are moving over to our next match. This is one I'm personally looking forward to. It's the Glamour Mariah May defending her AEW Women's Championship against Thunder Rosa in a Tijuana street fight. I want to see some ladies bleed. I want to see some violence, but I want to see my girl Thunder Rosa come out on top. But let's be real. I'm thinking it's more likely Mariah May is going to retain here. This whole thing, everything that's been going on is just screaming a run back at some point between Mariah May and Tony Storm once again. In the meantime, I'm just going to be highly enjoying this match. I like I love me some Thunder Rosa. I've been really impressed with the sheer upward trajectory that Mariah May has had an entire year. It's insane. But I think that trajectory is just going to keep on continuing, and it's going to end. The year is going to end with Mariah May still your AEW Women's Champion. Scholar Pete, what say you? Which way you going, Mariah May or Thunder Rosa?
It's gonna be May. I mean, the obvious point is her. Because sorry, you got me. The reason why is like you said, Tony Storm's there, reinvented. You know it's gonna be the coming up for a rematch. You know that, no offense to Thunder Rosa, a hell of a performer. I enjoy her work in the ring. I think this match is gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be carnage and craziness. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be May.
All right. Moving on, we've got Tarek. It's your turn up next. Which way you going, Mariah May or Thunder Rosa?
I think you said it best, fool. They're just saving Mariah May for her rematch with Tony Storm. And with whatever the hell Tony Storm is doing with this quote unquote amnesia storyline as if she just joined AEW. Honestly, at this point, I kind of want to just see that big twist and it's just going to be the three faces of Tony Storm or the three faces of Tony. Basically, pull a Mick Foley, have multiple characters of her character, timeless. Uh, whatever this interpretation of her character is, and just have one more, just
Oh,
multiple
Outcast Tony Storm.
Outcast Tony Storm. Is this the one she's Outcast is one is now, right?
No,
No,
she's
I think
still on whatever right our
she's
other one
still
is.
she's still on the what she was when she first came in, and
Okay,
then
and
she
then
moved into Outcast, and then she moved into Timeless.
I want that to be the three faces of Tony. And just have those situations where you have it on the screen, all three versions of Tony Storm talking to each other. It's like it's like so Timeless. Do you want to go down and face Mariah May for the title? I'm better than that right now. I'm just not feeling it. How about you, Outcast? Oh, I'm definitely down for this one. I'm gonna go beat the living shit out of her. Something like that. Just,
If they actually have the foresight to do that, they if they don't do something like that, I really hope they do something like meta, like, oh, this is the role of a lifetime. Like,
yeah, something to that extent. But yeah, they're saving her for Tony Storm. Uh, I mean, that was the reason why they basically did nothing with her after she won the title from Tony. But yeah, Mariah May for the win. This is gonna be one bloody match, and I'm looking forward to it as well. But Mariah May for the win.
all right. Scholar Brian, it seems we got enough accord forming. Do we have an accord?
Yeah, this one's obvious. I'm I'm more intrigued by how this is gonna go than the winner because I'm always intrigued when the women get into a street fight because I'm always intrigued by it's like how far are they gonna go? What are we gonna see here? And I mean, it's based off of Mexico, so it's like it's probably gonna be real hardcore, probably gonna get real bloody, and I want to see how far these women are willing to go. But yeah, the bottom line is this all ends with Mariah May versus Tony Storm. There's no breaks in between, and there's no use pretending that there's going to be any breaks in between. So whatever matches they cook up between now and the Tony Storm match are
Never
all
cooked.
just let's see how much foam we can have before Mariah May cheats to win.
All right, that will bring us to our next match on the card, which is MJF versus Adam Cole for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Pete, it's your first pick up next. Which way you going?
Boys, I would like to say that this is a very predictable pay-per-view for me, except this match. And you may be thinking I'm crazy, you may think I'm insane, but I just can't put my finger on this match. I'm really set between these two, but I'm going to go with MJF. I feel like this feud has lost a little bit of its muster because of the injuries of Adam Cole and just the time off from MJF. So I feel like they have to reignite this flame, this storyline. So how do you do it? You have MJF be the little shitty MJF that he is, and have Adam Cole then become the chaser. Bring the story back into 2025. Give us a damn good match, but make us go, oh man, like this was the feud in 2024. Make us, because this could have been the best feud of 2024 if everybody was happy, like was healthy and didn't get injured. But I feel at this current state with AEW and where we are at, they need that big matchup, that big fight feel. And I think that's the MJF Adam Cole. So I think that dastardly MJF wins, maybe with the ring, maybe not, but I feel like for order for this feud to continue and to make it build and be relevant again, in my opinion, MJF for the win.
All right. Tarek, that makes your pick up next. So you got between MJF and Adam Cole.
As someone who was super excited that they were going undisputed at the beginning of this year, ask Jeff. He saw me lose my shit when we went to that show at Prudential. This feud had very little steam going in, and the injury slash time off for both Adam Cole and MJF really hurt this. This is definitely one of the weakest stories going on right now in AEW. And I'm also gonna go with MJF to win because I think we're gonna have Matt Taven and Mike Bennett turn on Adam Cole to side with MJF so we can get because I'm still gonna go with the whole idea of Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly coming in and teaming with Adam Cole, and we're gonna get a trios build for the AEW rendition of Undisputed Era versus MJF and the Kingdom. So I think the Kingdom are going to interfere, cost Adam Cole this match, and MJF is going to win.
All right, Scholar Brian, your pick next. Which way you going?
Yeah, agreed on basically all fronts. This feud got old for me before the injuries. This feud, even when they were building up Adam Cole
That's the devil.
as the guy behind the mask, I'm like, that took way too long. The issue with this feud has always been timing. With whatever injuries, time off, or just bad booking choices. Because even before the injuries, I was like, I want this feud to end because they drew out the unmasking for a good 4 months, and it's like it's unnecessary. But in all honesty, I would like the feud to end, but I know that's not going to happen. And based off of the fact that it's for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and the fact that they've been basically telegraphing the Kingdom turning on Adam Cole for the last few weeks now. I think they're going to pull the trigger on it. I think MJF's going to win. I think we're going to get some time in between to kind of settle ourselves and get the idea of these guys facing each other again back where it needs to be, and then we can go on with the trios feud that Tarek was building up. Because if you're just going to keep going one on one, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want it anymore. But if you're gonna build it up the way that Tarek said with MJF and the Kingdom versus the AEW version of the Undisputed Era, then I'm fine with that. MJF wins via shenanigans, and hopefully I go home. I'm staring at the TV at least a little bit happy with what I'm seeing, because
Brian,
right now everything that has to do with this feud just annoys me every time it comes on TV.
Brian, it's gonna we're gonna get that final. This feud is gonna end with that singles match. I'm sorry. That's how this feud is gonna end. The trios is
No, it's
just
like
another
I'm fine
chapter of
with it.
this story.
I'm fine with it ending in a singles match. I'm just like I
You need
need
a break
something
from it.
else. I need a break.
Mhm.
It's been 2 years of nonsense. You know?
And to think
Well,
it was the most popular thing in AEW with MJF and Adam Cole with them being together. The second they broke them apart, it began falling apart.
yeah, I remember at the time we all knew, quote unquote, that something was going to happen with them. We were all anticipating it. And yeah, Tarek, you're totally right. This is a world away from where we were at the very beginning of the year. It just really hasn't stuck the landing, and I don't think it's going to change at all. Yeah, I think MJF is going to absolutely retain his Dynamite Diamond ring. Maybe there are some shenanigans after the fact. Maybe there's going to be more to it, but frankly, I find it really difficult to care at this point. Hopefully, I'm get proven wrong and something fresh will happen at this show, but as of right now, I just don't think it's going to happen. My hopes are not high.
Let me tell you, I felt like I was the only one about this feud that it was not working. And for you three gentlemen to be on the same board, oh, makes me feel good. Thank you.
It's not
No,
even just it's not even just us. It's
if you
literally
would
everybody.
if you had watched if you had been involved before the injuries happened and it was just Adam Cole turning on MJF become being the one that was unmasked, I would for like 4 months behind that, these two were getting annoyed because I kept saying, "This sucks. Just take the mask off already."
Hell, they pretty much told us it was going to be Adam Cole, like so far in the beginning because we saw that mask in Adam Cole's locker room just sitting in the background. So it's just like we
And
already
then
know. Just,
and then
just reveal it, damn it.
4 months later they pull the trigger and then Adam Cole breaks his foot jumping off the stage and it's like, oh geez, how and it's like you're sad that he got injured, but it's like as soon as he comes back, we're going back into this hellhole.
And then they also did it at the cost of Wardlow. Where the fuck is Wardlow now? Like, where did he disappear to? And
It's
he was
coming
actually
back
a
tomorrow.
yeah, right. Imagine. Yeah, we were
I was
just
going to say it took me a second, but like, wait, what if they actually do?
imagine. I mean,
Listen, I'm
where
putting
the
it
hell
down.
has he
I'm
been
putting
ever
it
since
down
he
as a
fought Samoa
prediction.
Joe for the title? He disappeared after that match.
Warlord's coming back. That's my prediction. There's a little asterisk with my prediction. He's coming back.
He'll come back in NXT before before that. Imagine.
Yeah. That's a second of like, oh, that's a silly comment. Like, wait a minute. It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
You're like, hold on.
All
I
right.
mean, WWE did want him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, where the hell is he now? How much time is even left on his
He's going to
contract?
be at the Adam Cole MJF fight. Hashtag Scholar Pete for the win.
Or they'll just
Yeah, he'll
just like let's start over with this and just have him basically be Ryback again and just give him a whole series of squash matches and him being one of the most popular things with his orchestra shit, what was it called?
uh
I know it
Powerbomb
was like
Symphony.
What
something
what
like
is it?
that, and it's
Powerbomb Symphony.
How about okay, symphony, not orchestra. Okay.
Something to do with music, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
I miss him.
Anywho,
I was one of the people that actually really liked him.
in all fairness, when Wardlow was good, he was white hot. But for one reason or another, it just really hasn't. He's found it very difficult to maintain that momentum.
as
That
as as,
that was
as
because of
soon as they
MJF.
turned as soon as they turned all the big guys into just were they had that meat chant while Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs were facing each other, and that just killed any of the big guys. All they did was put them together because of that meat chant, and that just took all the mystique away.
Well, be that as it may, let's go into what I believe to be where the real meat of this show is going to be.
Yeah, nice transition.
There you go. Boom. So I managed to pull those off every once in a while.
Mhm.
But now we're going into the matches, the rest of the matches in the Continental Classic Tournament. In the first round of the semifinals, we've got Will Ospreay going against Kyle Fletcher. Tarek, it's back at the top of the order. Who do you got between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher?
It's actually really funny because before we started recording, I was looking at the rundown of this card and I'm just looking at it like, well, first thing, I hope they don't add any more matches, but that's a pipe dream because we know they're going to. But it was really just the Continental Classic that I was really looking at like, where are they gonna go with this? Um, Because for the longest time, I was like really thinking, I could see them really once again just really pushing the momentum for Kyle Fletcher to win this whole thing. But then I looked at the on at the other semifinal of Ricochet and Okada. We'll get to that prediction next. And I'm just thinking like they're on the verge. They're pretty much on the verge of turning Ricochet heel. Who are we kidding? He's pretty much already there. Um, and then you have Okada, which I don't even know what's going on with him. I don't even really remember the last time he was. I'm trying to think, but like, was he a part of this, or was it just because he was the champion? He's already in the semifinals.
Oh no,
No,
he
he's
was a
been a
part of
part
it.
of it
Why have I feel like I've been missing his
because you
matches.
don't
He's
watch Collision.
Oh, he's been on Collision?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because
Not
I yeah.
exclusively, I don't think, but quite a bit.
Oh, shit. That's yeah, because I'm working. I always miss Collision. Okay, so yeah, that's just because that's just on my end. So is he being booked babyface-ish ever since the Bucks took the time of
No,
absence?
not even. He does the handshake at the end, and instead of shaking the hand, he gives the finger. The only
Okay,
time he
so
didn't, the only time he didn't was Shelton Benjamin on Collision.
okay.
He went to give him a finger and then was like, you know what, shake your hand.
Well, yeah, because Shelton Benjamin's awesome.
Yeah,
I
but
hope
yeah,
I
he's
can't
been
wait to see what
basically
the Hurt Syndicate is like in 2025.
but
Um,
basically he's given the finger.
okay, so heel. So it's no matter what, it's pretty much a heel match. Uh, so with that in mind, I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay to win to get his win back against Kyle Fletcher. Uh, just so we can have a nice face heel dynamic for the finals. As much because it would be a good win for Kyle Fletcher to get two pinfall victories over Will Ospreay. And knowing Will Ospreay, he probably would do something like that. Something that even Brian and I discussed earlier today about just how pretty much he's like the equivalent of Danielson now in AEW, where he's just putting like people over so you can have new stars in AEW. But I think for this show, the Will Ospreay is pretty much hands on. He should be in the finals because Jesus Christ, it's Will Ospreay.
And with that, Brian, it's your pick up next. Which way you going?
Kyle Fletcher already beat Will Ospreay. It's the return match. I always said that Kyle Fletcher would get the win on a one-on-one that had no stakes involved, and then Will Ospreay would get the win back when there were stakes. There are stakes involved. Will Ospreay wins, goes on to the finals.
You think filet kind of steaks?
T-Bone.
T-bone. Ooh.
Medium rare, medium, well done.
uh,
But
it's
yeah,
not a hardcore match, so I'll go medium.
Do a little
Bring
bit
the
of red in
A1
there. I
in.
see you.
all right. Before I start getting hungry, I'm just gonna go with Will Ospreay. This one was an easy pick for me. I just saw it coming a mile away. He was always one of my favorites to win the whole thing. But as for if he does or not, we'll get to that. Pete, looks like we're all going the same way. Do we indeed have an accord?
Yeah, damn right we do. Tag team partner Will Ospreay. Like, come on, man. The man's gonna put on classics, and the finals one, which we'll get to, he's gonna put on a classic with the prediction of our next match. You gentlemen have said it through and through. Return match. It's Will. Fucking let's move on and talk about the match that I want to know, and that's keeping Jeff up. Is the Ricochet match. So my tag team partner, take it away.
With that, yes, we're talking about the other of the semifinal matches in the Continental Classic. We've got Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, versus Ricochet.
Were we
Brian,
ever this bad, Brian? how bad they are? Were we ever this bad?
No, we just talk shit about each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Ryan,
we didn't kiss
Okada or
anybody's ass.
Ricochet?
Look, Okada, come on. He he's the champion. He's got to be in the finals. That's it. I don't
Eh,
think we need to go any further into it.
Hey, it's almost like this is a prediction show or something. Heaven forbid. That being said, yeah, I'm also gonna go with Okada.
Great.
Just because I had a feeling that even right from the start, Osprey versus Okada was going to be in be the finals, and now it looks like it's actually going to go down that way. So yeah, Pete, you're up next. What you gonna get going?
Make it rain. I mean, it's an obvious. Scholar Brian, you're correct. Champion. Come on, you don't want to see this in the finals? Get the hell out of here. Let's talk about the finals because I want to talk about the match of the night, which will be this finals match.
And Tarek, do we have an accord?
Yep. Hold on. Hold on. Going.
Eh, Ding the
Rainmaker.
ding.
Yeah, that sound doesn't work.
Damn it. Daryl, just
L-
pour the whole fucking bag.
I know what you were going for. The sound doesn't come through your.
Damn it. I was like, there, pour the whole.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh,
I dropped my coins.
I spilled my I spilled my lucky coins. Motherfucker. Uh, Rainmaker
Uh,
for the win. I gotta clean this up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, babies. I'm sorry.
uh,
I'm so sorry.
while Tarek is doing that, let's move on to the next match, which quite obviously is the final match of the Continental Classic, which right now, according to what we think, is Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada. It's my next pick, and for this one, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say Will Ospreay beats Okada, and he's gonna be the next Continental Classic champion. It seems like, especially after last year and what happened with Okada carrying the belt for so long, we're still sort of forging the legacy of what this tournament actually is. And I feel like Will Ospreay, between all the work he's been putting in to reward him, and also for him to have like the proper reputation to give the Continental Classic its reputation, or at least expand it even further. So may I slice it? I'm going with Osprey to win. And Pete, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
Thank you, my tag team partner. This one, it's gonna be a match of the card. We know it's gonna be great. But it's such a hard one. But you have to go with Will Ospreay, just because. I mean, at the end of the day, he's given so many great opportunities to different wrestlers, bringing them as stars. We forget how major he was of an acquisition for AEW when they were going with WWE and AEW, and he went there, and just the power that his name brought and the matches that he brings. We have obviously our Scholarly Awards next year. Make sure you keep that in your calendar, ladies and gentlemen. But you saw the ESPN, you had that it was just him and Danielson, best match. The man puts on classic matches. I have no doubts that this finals match is going to be a classic match, and he will win because it's going to be them saying, "Thank you for helping all these stars. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Here's the belt. Let's, like my tag team partner said, let's make this classic tournament." Be like, oh, this is where all the best wrestling is. Every year you got to come and see and defend the title.
All right. Scholar Tarek, it's your pick up next. Which way you going?
Oh, oh, sorry. Sorry, sweethearts. Sorry. Okay. Uh, yeah. Hey, man. You know these coins.
Indeed, I do.
Goddamn right. Uh, I am also gonna. I really wish I could just pick different, just for the sake of picking different, because just looking at this, just looking at this card, I didn't realize it really was gonna be this straightforward. But hey, could be wrong. But I'm also gonna go with Will Ospreay to win the Continental Championship. Uh, it's such a shame that he's gonna be given that. Hey, at least he won it under the Continental Classic, which it's the only time that when the title change hands, it actually matters. Uh, but yes, knowing my feelings on certain aspects of the lineage of that Continental Championship, at least we're getting someone to win the title and the championship who actually really deserves it. Okay, Will Ospreay for the win.
And Scar Brian, do we have yet another accord?
No, I really want that Scholarly of the Year award. So instead of doing what I would normally do and pick against anybody, everybody, I'm pretty sure I have that shit locked down. So I am going to agree with you all and say that and say that Will Ospreay will win.
Pretty much.
Basically, look, Okada's had the title for a long time. It's been pretty much the matches have all been good, but it's basically been a nondescript title reign. He's just kind of been there, having good matches, having good to great matches, but it's been like 8 or 9 months. Time for a change. And Will Ospreay's put in some really good work putting people over. Give him a reward,
Give him
if you
some
will.
love. Give him some
Have
love.
have have him win the tournament. Have him hold that title for a little while. Maybe give it a little more prestige. I'm not gonna go into the random hate like Tarek did, but 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 that title's really meant nothing. Like we thought that Okada was gonna make it mean something, and just the booking of it didn't work. Maybe with Ospreay as champion, they'll actually give actually good shit to do with that title. So yeah, Ospreay. We're go. I don't think we're having any differences in this card, folks. I think we're going right through.
Well, let's see if you're right. That'll bring us to our main event of the evening. We've got a fatal four-way match for the AEW Championship. John Moxley, Magai, is going to defend the AEW Championship against Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Jay White. And as I'm looking at AEW Rampage, the last ever Rampage for ever at this point, everyone's pouring out of the back. It's absolute pandemonium. Looks like it could be potentially anybody's game. Scholar Pete, the only question you need to ask is, who are you going with?
I get to make this predictable card that much more predictable. Like I said to you, gentlemen, at the top of the predictions, I have no doubt that this pay-per-view is going to be full of great matches, great moments. You're going to get greatness in it. And that greatness will be when John fucking Moxley retains his title. I think these three gentlemen, Hangman, Orange Cassidy, and Jay White, fantastic wrestlers, fantastic personalities. I think all future world champions. But it is not your Sunday night. It is John Moxley's Saturday night. Excuse me. It's John Moxley's Saturday night. And you know who's else? You know who else it's going to be? It's going to be Kenny Omega. Because we're going to see the return of Kenny Omega at the main event. And we're going to see Kenny Omega facing off against John Moxley. And that's how we're going to have this World's End with a stare off. We've seen it before, but Kenny has been rumored to come. You know it. You need to give that great feel to send the fans home happy. They didn't get their Orange Cassidy. They didn't get that. Scholar Jeff is very invested in Rampage. What's going on Rampage?
The
Well,
Death
apparently
Riders,
Pat
the Death Riders just murdered Darby Allin.
the Death
Broke his
Riders murdered Darby Allin. There's absolute pandemonium, and Pac just destroyed the lights of the entire arena. It's weird.
They're no,
Anyway,
they're doing the thing I wanted them to do, and they're destroying the Rampage arena. They're destroying Rampage.
aha, sort of, sort of metatextual. I like it.
Sort of
Yeah,
similar to when Jericho and Rhino destroyed the SmackDown stage before they introduced the new one, before they
Hmm.
introduced the fist.
and they did the chair around Darby Allin's neck bit, and then kicked him down the shit, and then kicked him down the flight of stairs.
Kicked them down the shit. All right.
Yeah, you had it right the first time.
Well, yeah,
Speaking of getting it
Oh,
right,
he's
Scholar
already dead.
Tarek, he's already dead. Tarek, it's your pick up next. Who you got?
Well, since they're pretty much killing Darby Allin as we speak right now, uh, I was gonna say that Darby is gonna be the one to take the title off Moxley.
I still
But
think that's what's going to happen.
you still
But
think that's good? Okay.
I,
It's
I
still possible.
I think they're setting it up for Moxley to have a very long title reign, and Darby be the one to take it off of him once he recovers from death. That's it.
It's like
As seen
it's
from
like I see that
Rampage.
too, but I just love the idea that Pete threw of just Kenny Omega coming back because I would love to see Kenny Omega come back and be the one that takes the title, saving the quote unquote soul of AEW from the Death Riders. But it's still gonna be Darby. Who are we kidding? Uh, but yeah, with that in mind, Jon Moxley's gonna win. It's really just a question on who he's pinning. As much like I would love to see Hangman Adam Page be the one to take the title off Mox, just because he's one of the best characters in AEW right now, and it would be nice. And then Jay White and Orange Cassidy, future champions, absolutely. I'm just glad that. Oh, excuse me. I'm just glad that Jay White is actually in this match to begin with, especially after that whole kind of hinting of what like of the past year of him basically getting jobbed to Billy Gunn. He was able to recover from that and actually be put in the world title picture where he actually deserves because, dude, it's Jay White. That man deserves to be in a world title picture. Uh, but yeah, it's Jon Moxley for the win. He's going to be holding on to that title in a suitcase for a lot longer.
All right, Scholar Brian, take us home. What do you got?
Yeah, it's Moxley. It's I I don't I think it's gonna be, I think it's obvious who he's gonna pin. I think Jay White and Hangman Page cancel each other out at some point. They're gonna turn on each other and probably brawl and take each other out. And John Mox is gonna beat Orange Cassidy. But yeah, there's you can't have a title change right now. And I think that the title needs to change in a one-on-one. I think that just having it change in a fatal four-way, uh, it it hurts the story of everything going around. You need a one-on-one. You need a hero to come in and beat John Moxley one-on-one and to end this. And it's just not going to have a title change in a fatal four-way.
I am going to absolutely second that in every single respect. John Moxley is one of my favorite guys going today, and he's going to need a serious, serious threat in order to take it from him. And this just does not seem to be the setting for it. I think we all have an understanding of where this is all going to go and by whom and by whomst. But yeah, it doesn't change the result here. It's all going to ultimately result in a Moxley victory.
I believe in John Moxley.
Clap, clap.
Sorry, I had to.
Hey, I do believe in John Moxley. Apparently, we all
I
do.
believe it. I believe in this guy's cause, even though he's killing everybody I love.
It's like
I believe we
I
all
believe in the
agreed on the.
cause, even though I don't even know what the hell the cause is.
It's
He
like
We
the
just
man
he
trust.
just
says,
hints
it's
at
the
it.
principle of the thing.
I trust this man. I don't know what he's doing, but I trust this man.
It's like he's doing it for the greater good. The
The
greater
greater
good.
good.
And he's killing everybody I love, but there's a reason for it. I
He's
trust
killing you out of love.
it.
That sounds like this. Before this
Brian, I
turns into a true crime podcast,
Brian, we understand. I think actually, you know what? You and I completely understand where John Moxley is coming because he wants everyone to step up and be better, which is what you and I want for these two guys to step up and be better to become inevitable scholars like undisputed scholars
Ladies
like the
and
rest of us.
gentlemen, my name is Scholar Pete, and I am the advocate for our reigning and defending
Not
Scholars
quite.
of
You need to
Wrestling.
update that. You need to update that because he's not defending.
you
Yet,
know,
You
he
already
knows
failed.
darn well when I'm going to be
listen,
defending this
You
championship
you
next.
already
But it's
failed.
not
The
going to
bid
be
is
this year,
over.
man. Yep, we all have to wait for next year for you to defend that goddamn championship. And god damn it, we have to wait till next goddamn year. It's gonna be so long.
It's,
So
but
long.
it's going to be so worth it, and you
No, it's
know
not.
it.
No,
Oh,
it's not
yes, it
because Pete's
will.
just got to win.
Because Pete is just he's kissing your ass so
listen.
much that he's just waiting for that moment to just take the knife out from behind and just stab you in the back with it and take Goldie with him and hold it over his head while he's
Listen,
standing on top of your butt on top of your body just going, why did you have a
what,
knife in your back?
whatever
Why?
happens, whatever happens come Royal Rumble, one thing is clear, it stays in the family.
Babe, we have a long way to go before we get there. But besides, if you're part of the viewing audience, our fellow fans, you already know what we think, but now it's time to hear from you about AEW World's End. Let us know all across the internet who you think is going to win. Comment below, YouTube comments, Facebook posts, everywhere you find us. Drop us a line, especially on the Twitter machines, to join the conversation yourself. Scholar Tarek, where can they reach you?
You can reach me waiting for Chris Jericho to put himself on this card at the Avataric.
Thanks, guys. Scholar Brian, where can they reach you?
You can reach me sitting at the corner of the bar at World's End, waiting for the inevitable turn of Scholar Pete on Scholar Jeff at Atomic Beanpole.
Scholar Pete, I know you'll never Mariah May me. Just tell us where they can find you.
They could find me being the Dave Batista to your Rey Mysterio at Improv Pete.
And you can find me
He's
really
just
liking my
admitting it.
comparison a lot better at I'm Robbie Rage. Join in the
He's admitting it
conversation.
straight to your face.
You're just letting him.
Yes, yes, I am. Because I'm a trustworthy individual.
And oh my God. Oh
And
my
for
God.
all of these
You
relevant
really are the
social
Rey
media links,
Mysterio. Everyone just turns on you and you just be like, I'm just okay with it.
yeah, and my kid is going to betray me for a 9 foot tall muscle mommy, and I'd be okay with that. I'd be damn proud of him. And for all of these relevant social media links and much more, check us out in the description below at our link tree. That's linktree/scholars of wrestling for more of the whatever madness this is. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back next year with a whole lot of more madness. We're gonna talk about up the best and worst of this year, 2024. We're gonna break it all down. We're gonna have a lot of fun doing it because you know who we are. We're the scholars of wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're
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 welcome.
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 See you
See
at
you
next
all
year.
next year.
Be sure